And we are back, and we just finished watching 2015's Krampus, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour and 38 minutes. This is currently streaming on Peacock, but also TBS, TNT, and to buy rent on Prime Video. According to IMDb, this is the story of a boy who has a bad Christmas, accidentally summons a festive demon to his family home.
Festive demon?
Yeah, I didn't know demons could be festive. I guess you could say the demon in The Exorcist is sort of festive, no? He had jokes.
He was a comedian, yeah. He had some pretty good lines there.
Yeah.
Most of them dealing with your mother.
I don't
Demon
know.
Lord of your mama jokes.
I don't know how to feel about this film. I mean, it's okay.
It's all right.
All right.
I think that's the problem. It's like you really want something with like that sort of, I guess, pedigree. I mean, you learn about Krampus and you learn, oh wow, that's a pretty
Hardcore.
dark idea. Yeah, there's like Santa has like this evil sort of counterpart whose job is it to basically punish naughty children. And it's like, you know what, that kind of makes sense, because sometimes the kid doesn't care if they don't get anything. But he's going to care if he gets a beating for Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's what Krampus did. Traditionally, he grab a kid, beat him with a couple of holly whips, and then throw him in a basket and carry him away to whatever doom awaited.
Well, I have to be honest, I didn't know anything about the Krampus until we saw A Very Venture Christmas. So I didn't even know about the existence of Krampus until I was well into my adulthood. Yeah. This isn't something that's really spoken about, or there aren't any. Well, up until that point, I don't think that any Krampus movies were in my radar. But apparently there's like 1,000 Krampus movies now, I guess, from this.
Now, yeah. I mean, at some point it caught the mainstream's eye.
Yeah.
And
it is, I mean, so I actually nominated this film in my film discussion group when we talked about it, and I think everyone could agree that it was sort of like just okay. I think it's the curse of the PG-13, but it did fabulously well, this film. So
well, I mean PG-13s could be great, but
true.
This just I felt lacking.
It did.
It sort of felt like they were trying to go for like, all right, we're going to make a wacky comedy, and there was some like comedy sound effects in there.
Sure.
Like a couple of times there was like bonk, know, that noise, and it had a champ from what's his name?
Anchorman. David. What's his name? Keckner.
Keckner. It had Keckner in it. And it had Adam Scott, who's great in comedies,
and Toni Collette. she can hold her own.
Yeah,
she's
but
I mean now she's the horror queen, but Muriel's Wedding is a comedy.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't picture her as a comedic actress.
Really? No. I think she's all around the
No,
MVP.
I think she's a fantastic actress. She can do anything. She can do comedy. She can do drama.
Yeah, United States of Terror and all that stuff.
I feel like she's more well known for stuff that's like more dramatic, like Hereditary and The Mom and Sixth Sense, and
she's good in that too.
Knives Out, yeah. Knives Out, she was a little bit flighty, but she was clearly playing that sort of
type.
Gwyneth Paltrow type, I think, or whatever. Anyway, we're on a tangent with Toni Collette. But, yeah, and then I feel like it was sort of like, okay, well, it's a comedy, but now we're going to go with the horror, with the creepy old lady and the
yeah, that
Krampus.
Wasn't really explained a lot. I mean, or it didn't, I don't know. It's just... Well, I think I also agree with something that you had pointed out earlier. For a film that's supposed to be about Krampus, you don't really see Krampus. I mean, there's all these other things happening.
I mean, you see him, but the problem is that it felt like his design was sort of like an afterthought.
Yes, very much so.
I feel like everything else in the film was designed and with like, this is going to be cool. Yeah. This is going to be amazing. And then when it came to actually Krampus, he wasn't really that. He was like this big hulking thing, but they just covered something with a blanket, and he had like the big creepy fingers and big horns, and his face just looked stupid. He just looked like sort of a dead Santa Claus with like his mouth hanging open.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, everybody else looked great. The elves with their masks, those all look cool and weird and disturbing.
The little gingerbread guys.
The little gingerbread characters, all those toys that came out of the attic.
Yeah.
Especially that Jack in the Box.
Yeah. That was nuts.
Yeah, those were creepy looking things.
Yeah.
And then you get to see Krampus, and it's just
wait.
He's got an old man face. He didn't even look like a devil.
And the other thing that we kind of pointed out in film discussion was, so the Krampus is supposed to punish naughty children, but how was Max naughty?
Because he had forgotten the meaning of Christmas, the sacrifice of giving, all of that. But his letter was very selfless. He wanted all these things for everyone else. And he ripped the letter up.
That's not lack of gratitude, though, is it?
He was upset with his family, so he made a wish, or I don't even think he actually made a wish.
Yeah.
But I guess he felt like it would be better off if these people weren't here or something like that. And
I don't know. I feel like that part of the story they dropped the ball.
It got kind of muddy.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it really stopped being about Max and it became more about the father.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he was the main. For most of the film, Adam Scott is like the main character.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's not really the impetus or the cause of or anything. He's just sort of there to react to stuff and then say, hey, you got to protect your family or whatever the hell the phrase they kept repeating over and over again was. So
was he doing a Vin Diesel? Was it all about family?
Well, no, like Heckner first says it.
Yeah.
It's something about got to protect your family or protect your cubs or I don't know what. It was some colloquialism for protecting your babies or whatnot.
Oh.
But you got the scoop? What is it?
The scoop is you're supposed to protect your pack.
Okay.
Like wolf pack or
something
whatever.
along those lines. Yeah. But Max, the kid, he's just sort of sidelined through most of the movie. He's not really interacting with any of the creatures. He's not protecting the family at all. I don't think he does anything as far as fighting off the monsters or anything. He just at the end he sort of confronts Krampus and says, "I just wanted things to be like they were." Mm-hmm. And Krampus basically laughs.
But it's weird because it's like, so I thought that the grandmother was going to be more instrumental. She wasn't. Although I liked the little animation of how when I guess she tells her backstory.
Yeah, and you see like something like that, I feel, okay, that works in a more comedic film. Mm-hmm. But then you're dealing with like basically children getting eaten. I mean, I guess they're swallowed rather than eaten. Because at the end, they all just get thrown into a portal to hell. It just felt really. They didn't know what tone to keep.
Yeah.
And they were trying to just do everything, and it just kind of got a little muddy. It was interesting to watch and look at. But this story is not something I would be like, wow, that's some great storytelling.
Right. Agreed.
It really has a almost like throw all the shit at the wall and see what sticks kind of storytelling.
Yeah.
And really, the fact that they couldn't settle on a tone, because that animation thing was
really well done.
Really well done. It looked cool, and it sort of fits the whole theme of Christmas where we grew up with that stop animation stuff. Rudolph and
Frosty
and Cold Miser and Heat Miser and all that. Like an Elf. They had stop motion animation and it fit.
Right.
It worked because he was in some sort of bizarre fantasy world with elves and stuff. So you're going to have the snowman and the narwhal and all that.
Yeah.
This it was a memory, but why the hell would the grandma be remembering stuff as a stop motion animated thing?
I don't know.
She's like ancient. She's like the type of lady who's like screaming how you shouldn't play Jingle Bells because that's the song they sang when they threw babies on the fire.
That's one of my favorite scenes in Malcolm in the Middle. God, Cloris Leachman was such an animal.
I know. And you know what's funny? When I remember when the commercials for this came out, there's like a shot of the grandmother, and I thought it was Cloris Leachman there for a while. But no.
Well, I mean, she's, and the thing, like, so I guess the grandmother is speaking like Dutch or German or whatever the hell language. And there's something very ominous about her. So I thought that her story was going to be more impressive, but it wasn't. I mean, I think I had seen parts of this movie prior. This was the first time I sat through it from start to finish. And I just was like, I mean, it felt like such a missed opportunity. I mean,
yes.
You know what I mean? It's like they really could have, I mean, obviously you might have to go into rated R territory to get there, but the lore of the Krampus is just so interesting and out there. And like we were saying, like this other woman in my film discussion group, like she posted pictures of like the Krampus parade where these guys are just dressed as Krampus, and it is nightmare fuel. It is nightmare fuel.
Those are amazing costumes.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff like that, like news reports and whatnot, and these people are going all out. They look terrifying. So much better than what this movie presented, which is just bizarre because you had millions of dollars.
Yeah.
What the hell happened?
I don't know.
How did you end up with that weird sort of hunchback? I don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, it was just weird. And it's just the idea of like the anti-Santa who comes to like punish children. I mean,
yeah, they should honestly. That's what it should have just been. He should have just. It should have been about like snotty people who completely forgot the meaning of Christmas, not a family that's just like bickering, and some kid getting upset about it,
right?
No, like people that really deserve it.
Be terrorized.
I mean, you go on the internet now and you see people behaving in the worst ways, and you're like, God damn, I wish there was a Krampus coming around. So this holiday season, next year, I won't see so many videos of these people because they'll all be dead.
Yeah.
They should have done that. I mean, I would have loved if Krampus was just taking out terrible people that really deserve to be taken out.
Yeah.
That would have made me happy.
I agree.
And looking cool while doing it because he's a freaking giant Christmas demon.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because if you juxtapose like the messaging of the Christmas season, the birth of Christ and all this other stuff, like if you juxtapose that with like this lore of this vicious thing that comes to beat children and basically take them to hell, like that's just, I mean, so much could have been done here, right? I feel like, I agree with you. I feel like the families should have been more awful people.
Yeah, I feel like they were sort of going that way with Keckner's family, but even them at the end, it was especially the wife. The wife was
nice.
She was nice.
Yeah,
and she was just protecting her kids.
Even them, like I didn't find anything objectionable with the kids. You know what I mean? Like they were bullyish and stuff, but they weren't. They weren't like setting the house on fire. They weren't like smoking. You know what I mean? Like they weren't bad
picking their nose and wiping it on the furniture.
Exactly. They were just like stupid teenagers, kind of. They weren't really like objectionable people.
Yeah, there have been far better depictions of little bastards in movies, like like in Raising Arizona, that family that comes and visits.
Oh my gosh, them. Yes.
Terrible children. They're like picking their nose and wiping it on stuff and just hitting. I was
thinking of like some of the characters. What was that movie? Do Revenge? Like the Maya Hawke character. Like I hated her. Like after the big reveal.
I got to be honest. I kind of forgot everything about it. That's the type of film that's not worth remembering.
Okay, fair enough. But what else? I don't know. It felt like such a missed opportunity. I mean, like I said, the lure of the Krampus and just the idea of this thing that comes out to punish children during Christmas time, like so much could have been done with that. And I agree with you too. I think it was kind of all over the place. They probably should have settled on one thing and stuck with that. They needed a stronger story. I think they needed to make the families kind of more reprehensible, maybe pad out the grandmother a little bit so that earlier what's going on. Like,
yeah, I mean, she's there for exposition, really.
Sure.
I know the old traditions, that sort of thing. But yeah, having the family, like I could see the maybe they should, I don't know, like there should have been like terrible neighbors, or maybe there was like one good kid who has to try and stop Krampus because he's going too far. He's killing people that are just kind of crappy, not just total douchebags.
Yeah, I mean, like I even thought, like, what was her name? The woman from what was it? 2.5 Men. The aunt. Like, she was funny and good and like kind of saucy.
This is somebody that was in the movie?
Yeah. It was Aunt Dorothy. The one that was like, I didn't even like kids even when I was a kid.
Kinda. Oh, that lady. Yeah. No, yeah. Like, she was just a saucier type person. She wasn't doing anything terrible or reprehensible at all.
Yeah.
But what? She was drinking during all that.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people drink during Christmas.
Right. She wasn't like a belligerent drunk. She took care of the baby.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe like Five Nights at Freddy, they were just going for the PG-13 to get a bigger net for audience.
Oh, absolutely.
And again, like I said, I mean, I didn't particularly care for this film, but it did fabulously well for a $16 million budget and wound up pulling in over $61 million.
No, I mean,
that's more than double your investment.
Did it actually come out during the holidays?
It came out December 6th of 2015 in the United States, yes.
There you go.
And it made $16 million on its opening weekend. So it did more than its estimated budget. Just a little bit more, but still, it was on the right path. And we say movies are usually, well, this is 2015, so this is like pre-COVID. So movies were in the theaters at least 2 months, at least, if not longer, before the whole
get it on streaming,
get it on cable or streaming, right? So
yeah, it was
it
was just average.
Yeah,
they could have done a lot more.
Yeah, they could have done a lot more. They definitely should have, I think, so we're going to pair this with Arthur Christmas, which was way better.
Arthur Christmas was fantastic, yeah.
And I think that it's too bad because I feel like it was a missed opportunity. Maybe there was a directive to just keep this at PG-13, like I said, to kind of get a wider audience. But I think that it sort of hurt the film. And I agree with you, too. I think it should have been Max's story, but then it wound up being Ben Wyatt's film.
Well, not only that, but also what really, I think, hurt it is they couldn't figure out a tone for it.
Yeah.
And you can... Like, horror comedy is great.
Great.
It is fantastic. Evil Dead.
Yes.
Honestly, if they would have done this in the mold of, like, Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Like that television show or just Evil Dead 2. Over-the-top, splat stick sort of comedy.
Right.
It could have been great.
Really great.
Especially a Christmas demon, and then you have, like... people trying to fight their way through his like hordes of minions.
Yeah.
Little bastards getting what they deserve.
Sure.
Even like older bastards getting what they deserve.
Yes.
That could have been absolutely fantastic. But they just didn't know how to
market this film, or
not market but like keep the tone. Because you could see they were trying for some comedy bits. But it just wasn't. It wasn't funny. It wasn't really scary.
Yeah.
It wasn't really gory.
No.
It was just sort of there.
Yeah.
And all you had to do was push it in a certain way and just sort of maintain your vision.
Yeah.
Stay on target. But
what would you give it 1 to 10?
I'd probably give it a 6.
I'd give it a 5.
Yeah.
I think it's just okay. I mean, I feel like if you're winding down and you want to put on something different, I guess you can put this on, but I don't know. It just.
No, I mean 6 to me is just okay. So
yeah.
I mean, that's
to me it's halfway there. So I'm gonna give it a 5. But yeah, I feel like there's better things, like A Very Venture Christmas, which is playing on Max.
Yes.
And it's like a fraction of the time. It was like a
12
20-minute,
minutes.
or it was like a 12-minute episode, right? So it's like, it's in and out. And it was so freaking hilarious. And
that has a very disturbing version of Krampus in it.
Yes.
Who's there to punish the wicked.
Again, a shout out to The Man Who Came to Dinner, which is also kind of a holiday classic, like you said, in the vein of Die Hard, but not. And just the writing on that is sharp. I would absolutely recommend that. But I think of the two films, the winner here is definitely Arthur Christmas.
Yeah. For this week, Arthur Christmas is the one I would recommend too.
Yeah. Any other parting thoughts, or we're good to wrap it up?
No, we're good. You look, you're about to pass out.
I am so tired all of a sudden. I feel like I was just given tryptophan, and I want to go on Sexy Couch and take a little nap. So I'm going to bid everyone a good night.
Good night.
And we'll come back soon with another review. Good night.
Good night.